We kicking it, boys. We kicking it. All right, here with the Lexus SC300. SC300. Open the hood that way they can see it. The stock SC300. It's fully stock, nothing fancy or anything. Just stock as fuck. But anyway, I won't bore you with the details. No details there to look at anyway. It's just a stock, you know, just your regular stock 2JZGE engine. And then I'm just gonna replace the fuel pump because I feel like it's not upgraded or anything. No, not an upgraded fuel pump, putting 320 liters per hour, nothing like that. Not even E85 compatible or anything like that. Just for shits and laughs, I'm gonna do this. Oh, don't mind that. Oh fuck. Oh, I sneezed. Oh, don't mind that either. Don't mind that. Oh shit, don't mind that either. Anyway, I'm gonna pause you guys and I'm gonna update you guys once this is off and the new hardware is installed. Oh fuck. So she's my wife and he's my best man, but right now it really doesn't feel like it. And I'm here busting my shit. I got a hole in my pants and they're making fun of me.
He lives like that. He lives like that.
I'm fucking normal, bro. They're tripping. Anyway, excuse my French.
Hey, show them the flashlight that's on. I'm not helping.
Yeah, right. Look how good my flashlight guy is. Fucking amazing, man.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Got the Jesus 3000s on. Shout out to Robert.
Jesus 3000.
Anyway. I got it. Okay, I'm going. Hey, babe. Positive affirmation. Shit. Heard that. I did take a long time, not gonna lie. But it's because our marriage classes. Anyway, so this here, I had to cut it because the grommet wasn't the right shape. It wasn't symmetric like that. And so I had to cut it, and that took a while. I almost sliced my shit, and I sliced a little bit of my precious SC300. Anyway, so now she's gonna go in. I got the new Chemzo 320 liter per hour. Psych, it's really stock. Everything's stock. Nothing here is special, and I don't matter. Anyway, I'm gonna put it back in. Damn. Okay.
I love this 30-minute job turned 4-hour job.
No, I don't know what he's talking about. I'm very proficient. I just told you and everything I did. When I had to splice these wires.
Aren't you supposed to put a lighter on those?
No, bro. You're thinking about heat shrink. These are.
Those are pretty loose though.
These are. What's the word? Crimpers. These are crimp. I don't know what the hell they're called, but they're to be crimped, just like your ass. Bro, try me, pull, puss.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah, say that again. He said they're fine. They're fine. So yeah, I'll update you guys in a little bit, right?
Fucking in an hour, I guess.
Right, babe? Hey, babe.
What?
You love me?
Yeah.
Caught that in 4K. Anyway.
That might look weird.
Alright, mates. So I'm back. I'll be a little bit more serious on this one. How about that, huh? So we actually got this puppy in. Put all the seats in. So thank goodness I got a really, really solid, complete SC300. Most of them are clapped out already, if not all getting there. So got everything back. Seats are dang near mint. Have creases in them, but not any tears yet. Hopefully it stays that way. So that's done. Got the fuel pump installed. It is a 320 liter per hour fuel pump. Oh, this is the manual factory 5-speed W58 transmission. It's a 1995 SC300. This thing got all the bells and whistles. So it's got these cracks that come with them as well. So let's see. Here, the only mod here is drive-by-wire. So I got the SC430 pedal installed. Pretty quick install, honestly. I posted on my snap about that. I ended up taking forever, but it was mostly redundant work. things that I didn't even have to do. All I had to do was drill a hole and slap it in there, but I went an extra mile and tried to do something. I'll come back to here in a bit. Let's see. Yeah, so it does have a plug and play EMU black to JZA80, which is a Supra chassis, because the SC300 and the naturally aspirated or non-turbo Supra are almost identical as far as the engine component goes. Engine and yeah, the engine goes, and so as far as the loom goes as well, it's pretty much spot on. So I've got this plug and play adapter here. So this is the chassis side, and looks good there. This chassis side, and this is it's gonna plug into my EMU black. This takes care of all the rerouting. I might have to tap into this myself though. I do need to see. Oh, sorry about that. Let me get a flashlight. Okay, I got my flashlight. My little mobile setup here. Parts. I'll get back to the engine bay here shortly. Nice factory wheels as well. Anyway, I do need to open this up, this back end, and actually look at the pinout. Because I am going to have to alter a few things. So I can go ahead and add. I guess I can go to the front now, because I did go ahead and add things that weren't on the factory Supra. And there's the OECU. I think I might keep it there. I'm just not sure exactly how the key transponder works right now, so I'm going to keep it there for the time being. Regardless, yeah, so I added a few things that aren't on the stock Supra. First and foremost, a giant fucking turbo. It's, I think, a 68 millimeter turbine housing. The compressor side, I think it's a 63 Borg Warner. Anyway, it's gonna put more than enough juice than I want. So anyway, I deleted the distributor, because this is the distributor with stronger forged internals. It's a 95, and I forget what the cutoff year is, but before there was VVTi, we had stronger internals in the 2Js, naturally aspirated, same as the ones in the GTE. Also, I did get GTE pistons, so my compression ratio will be running, and a head gasket, so I will be running essentially a GTE setup, so it's going to be pretty much 1-to-1. The only difference being the oil galleys. Anyway, probably a few other differences here and there, but overall, essentially the same thing as a GTE at this point. Deleted the distributor, put a dizzy cap on it, and then I got a coil on plug kit from Super V World. Beautiful fitment. I sprayed everything in gold myself. If you like it, dope. If you don't, yeah, I guess kick rocks. Anyway, got that kit from there, and then I got my cam trigger kit also from Super V World. There's their logo there. Check them out on YouTube. They're dope. Or he's dope. I only know the dude from the videos. Anyway, that cam trigger kit took me forever to get that aligned, but I got it aligned properly. And then I got the crank trigger kit as well, and that's the crank sensor sitting somewhere down there. And both of those used to be taking care of the distributor, so now they're actually dedicated sensors. So I got cam trigger kit and a crank trigger kit. Crank trigger kit, and they came as a bundle. Spent quite a bit for that, but it's worth it. So now I'm gonna have essentially a GTE running on cam and crank sensors, coil on plug, and and then I got my turbo there. I did actually tap into the block here for my oil feed onto my turbo. It's a lot cleaner of a setup. Just run straight to the back right there, to the back of the head. And then other folks just wrap it around and plug it into an adapter that adapts the oil filter, which is sitting somewhere under this plenum. And it's sloppy. You got a giant line over the engine. I don't like it. So I did this, and this should be plenty good. Anyway, I got my return line there, and then I went ahead and just made my return. There it is. The socket's already there for it. You just got to drill and make a hole. This whole freaking engine was out because of a mishap that happened. I had an oil leak, some catastrophic damage that happened to one of my gaskets. Don't know exactly which ones, but I scrapped them anyway. I guess I should have paid more attention to see where the issue was, if at all. Anyway, once I pulled the engine, I decided to just start building it up because I already had a few parts here and there that I got from buddies. And at this point, got internals ready for 800 horsepower. Got the turbo ready for, Jesus, I'm not sure. Name of God in vain, I'm sorry. Anyway, just to a lot of horsepower, let's put it that way. And then I got my fuel system, 750cc injectors. I'm not sure how much that'll get me. I can do some calculations to see how much I can get out of these suckers, but I'm sure more than enough. Because I'm honestly not going to run this thing at a ridiculous horsepower range, at least right now, because I do have the W58 in here, and I don't want to break the bank yet for CD009. But yeah, it'll be a fun cruiser for the time being. Anyway, 750cc injectors, custom AN lines, flex fuel sensor down here, so I will be running E85. I'll be doing the tuning myself, so we'll see how that goes. I've been learning from HP Academy. Shout out to them. I've learned a lot. I guess it's worth mentioning, I guess, not to toot my own horn, and my wife is going to clown me for this, but I'm an engineer. I'm a mechanical engineer, degree from ASU, so I have, if not the knowledge, at least the know-how to get the knowledge. So good with books, good with diagrams, good with hands-on. It goes well. Anyway. And here, drive-by-wire is a Bosch 82 millimeter, adapted to a 90 millimeter, like Ford style 90 millimeter. So this is off a GT3, this intake throttle here. I got to do the wiring for that. I got that all over here. I got to do the wiring and whatnot. Then here I've got my intercooler plumbing that's going to come out of here. I'll probably drill a hole. I've been trying to keep this car as stock as possible, but at this point there's no way I can go around it if I want to keep my AC and all my accessories. So I'm going to probably drill a hole right here, try to make it nice and neat, and then put like a rubber grommet around the hole. That way there's no sharp edges or burrs or anything like that. And then feed it right into there. And my intercooler, just got off Facebook Marketplace from a buddy that I know that actually has like a 1300 horsepower SC300 running basically the same shit I'm running, with higher, bigger injectors and I think precision turbo, bigger turbo. So yeah, and then I mean the great thing about this chassis is the Soarer is essentially the same thing, and that was ready to go for boost. It was boosted with the 1JZ GTE, so this has a lot of a lot of room for it to be able to run boost for the intercooler and whatnot. So here that was actually just filled in with a plastic, essentially just a plastic cap. So I just uncapped it, and would you look at that, it's perfect for a 2.5 inch plumbing to go through. So I'm going to be running 2.5 inch from the compressor all the way to the intercooler, and from the intercooler all the way back up to the intake. That should be plenty for my power goals. I'm really looking to make like 450 wheel horsepower, and honestly everything here is overkill for that, so I'll be completely fine. This build, honestly, with the 3 inch plumbing, if I upgraded to 3 inch plumbing, maybe a better intercooler, but even though this one does look like it has high capacity heating or cooling, I will be able to run like 800 wheel horsepower. Of course, I'd have to make the modifications to the wheels and the suspension to be able to handle that type of horsepower, but that won't be too much of an issue. That's light stuff. And I also want to dress this car up nicely. It's a beautiful car, really clean. It's clean title, 165,000 miles, original block. I'm the second owner, so yeah, I got it from my buddy back at my old job. Shout out to Ricky. Kept it really clean. They've owned it in their family basically its entire life. Yeah, so for the future I do have plans for this thing to be a lot nicer, even though it is already nice. It's intact, it's clean, and the chrome could use some some touching up, so as long as as well as the plastics, and then you could get a spray again, a respray. Oh, good, it cleaned. I had an oil spill here a year and a half ago, maybe some more, and I used the Turtle Wax carpet cleaner to clean it up, and it cleaned really well. So that makes me very happy. I got an entire new trunk carpet because it was just completely botched. I was on my way to take my oil to AutoZone like a good Samaritan, and apparently the lid popped open and wham, spilled everywhere in my trunk. So, but I'm glad that I got a clean one now, so that's good. Oh, here's my intercooler. I mocked up the bracket myself. Got these suckers from Home Depot. They're like fencing brackets. They're not meant for much. They're fencing brackets, so I didn't have to move anything. That's why I made these mounts the way they're made, because I didn't have to move anything. My reservoir's intact. Everything's intact where it should be, and there is little to no overhang on the intercooler through the front. You got a little bit there, but that's going to be covered by this shroud thingy here, so you won't even be able to see that. And that's something I'm willing to live with, especially since I'm getting like a lip kit on the bottom, so you won't even be able to see that. And I have the lip actually in my garage, but anyway, so that's just a basic run around of the car. I got my subwoofer in here. I'm gonna street this car. I'm not gonna drift this car. I'm not gonna track this car. I'm gonna street this car because I want something fun to cruise in that has power at the high end, at the top end. So that's essentially the goal with this whip. I got a few more things to go before I actually get this thing turned over. I'm gonna go to the junkyard, get myself an O2 sensor, Lambda, O2 sensor. More than likely I'll do for sure I'm gonna do a Bosch LSU 4.9, better latency times, just quicker reading times for the ECU to pick up quicker, better responses, etc. So I'll go get that off of an EcoBoost or anything that has a fucking LSU 4.9, which is actually a lot of cars apparently. So I'm gonna go get one, and after I get one, I'm gonna install that bad boy into my downpipe, which is sitting in the garage. I'll show you guys in a bit. My downpipe is gonna be a bit tricky because it's it's supposed to be a plug and play, but it's not. With the manifold and the turbo, there's too many variables to control to actually have a freaking plug and play downpipe for every 2JZG build. So anyway, I'll probably be having to modify that here shortly. But yeah, the only thing that I haven't done myself here, which is actually something I'm extremely proud of, is the welding on the back of the head. I took it to some dude. He charged me $60, and in hindsight, I could have done it myself. It's actually really not that tricky at all. So all the other plumbing, I've been practicing my aluminum plumbing. I'm running like 40, 45 amps, because this is like 60 thou inch thick intercooler plumbing, so it's really thin stuff. And I was burning right through it. It took me a weld engineer and a professional rig welder's advice to get me to freaking weld it properly. So I actually got it locked in. Turns out my frequency was too high, my balance was a little bit off, and my amperage was a little too high. But I'm obviously not the best welder in the world. I do TIG at work, on my free time in the lab, but by no means am I a professional welder or anything like that. So I'm just glad though that I've been able to do everything that I have to myself here. I'll be doing the tuning myself as well, because I'm not trying to be charged $2,000-3,000 to do the pump gas tuning and the E85 tuning. And at this point, I've learned so much from the HP Academy courses that it kind of just makes sense to me now. Of course, I don't have the practice, but the science behind it makes sense. I'll try to do a video about that, encapsulating like the overarching scheme of tuning. And like it should be like a beginner level intro to tuning, because tuning seems to be this like so super intense thing. And if you get down to the nitty gritty, yeah, it is eventually, but it's not as scary of a beast as it seems. Tuning is really just figuring out how much fuel your engine likes. That's really it, because it does the air for you. Anyway, I'll probably do a whole video for that. And then what's left? So I've got fuel pressure regulator, wastegate, 44 millimeter. That's my blow-off valve that I shouldn't. These are generic eBay ones, by the way. Blow-off valve that I've got to weld onto my intercooler plumbing, as well as my IAT, so intake air temperature sensor. But my intake air temperature sensor I have not bought, and those are like $100. So I'm gonna save that till the last. $100 ain't that bad, but yeah. So I got my intake air temperature sensor pigtail, so my connector, and then I'll have to wire that directly into the ECU myself. There's my sheath, my heat sheath for my wiring that I'll be doing from the flex fuel sensor to the ECU, as well as for my wideband sensor. My wideband sensor is going to sit right here, so it should be pretty easy to just sneak up in there into the ECU. What else? My IAT is going to have to be ran more methodically, so I'll probably route it around somewhere to not make it look like a mess. It's at the point where I'm really considering just rewiring everything myself. I was scared to wire it myself because I've never done it and I didn't really know what I was doing, but after realizing it's really just running a wire to every sensor and every sensor and every, what would you call that, output device. So your like injectors and your spark plugs and your coil packs, not my spark plugs but my coil packs. It's really simple. It's actually really simple. Just run the wires that are necessary for each sensor into the ECU, and that adds up. Anyway, all this being said, I went let me finish with what I've got. And I got my power steering reservoir. That is the original one. I sandblasted it at work to clean it off. I'm going to paint it either black or gold. I think I might just go black for simplicity's sake, but that's the theme here if you haven't noticed, black and gold. And I think I might just mount it somewhere along right here. I'm going to get one of the smaller batteries, high density lithium batteries that are a little bit pricey, but they're small and they push same amperages as the big old ones. So I might just spend the buck, that way I don't have to reroute the battery to the back. And here's my wife mad at me. Anyway, after all that's done, a starter, I need to put the starter in there. I need to tighten up the bolts from the transmission to the block of the head. Those need to be tightened up. Install my downpipe, install my wideband O2 sensor, and then here I've got just some wiring and some instructions from Super V World. Here's my wiring instructions. So they supplied, so that's awesome. The power steering has been adapted because the power steering reservoir usually sits right here, and I put an aftermarket plenum on it. So I've adapted that, and with the powerhouse racing adapter, so it swivels out, and that line is running right under here. Let's see right there. There's the powerhouse racing logo. So I'm going to put that to the reservoir somewhere right here. Okay, after all that, I think that's really it. And then the tune. So pretty close here. I'm making progress, but you know, I got 2 kids, my wife, my job. I trade as well, so that takes up a lot of my time. And I like soccer. I'm in like 4 teams right now, so yeah, I do a lot. So I don't really have too much time for many things. Anyway, trying to cut this short. I went with drive-by-wire for a multiplicity of reasons. I can get rid of this giant module here, cruise control module. I didn't have to go and buy the expensive IACV, OEM Toyota, or find a way to mechanically. So guys, I'm just going to piggyback off that last cut real quick. It is a new day. My phone died, so sorry about that. Anyway, it's not even, it's been a couple days since I recorded that. Anyway, I went with drive-by-wire to get rid of this cluster. Essentially, overarching reason is to simplify things. I'm going to be able to get rid of this. I didn't need to buy the expensive IACV valve that keeps that air coming into the intake at a certain RPM threshold. Let's see. Another reason was what the hell? Oh yeah, I mean tunability. You could do a 2-step tune on these. What else? Oh yeah, cruise control. That was the biggest thing. That was actually the main reason why I got it. I didn't want to lose my cruise control functionality because I want this thing to be a cruiser as well, like a fun cruiser. Shit, if I gotta hit cruise control, my legs are tired. I want to be able to do that, and drive-by-wire allows you to do all 3 of those functions: cruise control, idle, which is idle tuning is a pain in the ass. It seems like anyway. Cruise control, idle, and throttle response, as well as 2-step abilities, and there's a lot more to play with there. Any tuning abilities with the throttle. Anyway, so it's just a lot more tunable. It's also a lot more replaceable too. This is just a Bosch part. It's really easy to get. It's actually a lot cooler too. Like I think drive-by-wire, it's like daunting at first because it's electronic. You're like, what? No cable. And then there's a lot of people that say there's a downside because there's a latency between when you're pressing on the pedal and when the throttle's opening. But I think that's fucking cap. Those people are probably not programming it properly or talking out of their ass. I mean, yes, there is a latency. Everything has latency, but it's unrecognizable, honestly, by human experience. You're talking about fractions of a second. You're talking about I'm not sure exactly, but I would say under 100 milliseconds. So I can't even count that. So they're definitely tripping out. The system, the control systems work on the frequency domain, which is the frequency domain operates in such a small time interval that they have to operate in this you could call it realm, this world where you're really counting in hertz, which is times or cycles per second, and you're talking like shit. Man, depends what system you're talking about, but it's not uncommon to see control systems run at like 10,000 hertz or something like that. You're talking about 10,000 times a second of communication. So yeah, latency is not what people make it out to be on drive-by-wire. That checked out mathematically for me, but I still heard a lot of backlash on drive-by-wire. And then I saw somebody do it and say what I thought was true, which is it's actually not bad at all. People are tripping. And I was like, okay, that's enough for me to go do it myself. So I decided on the drive-by-wire. It's really all. Since the last update, I was able to finish up this plumbing here. So pain in the ass because right now we're restricted from the welder at work, but you know me. Anyway, so I need to redo this one because I did not. I'm dumb. I forgot to weld the piece of the pipe that has the bead on it, and not just a straight shot. That way, the T-clamp can hold onto something and prevent the boost pipe from backing out. But I was able to get this guy here. And this one was a pain in the butt. So here are my welds. They're not the best, but they're not the worst. All right, no judge me. They're very fun. That's ugly as heck. That's the ugliest part of this entire freaking welding experience. And of course, it's what's gonna be popping right in my face. Anyway, yeah, I got that mocked up. So one piece here, 90-degree elbow coupler, 90-degree plumbing. So it's really just 2 pieces for this side of the intercooler, which is nice. It's not complicated at all. And then this piece, I already got something thought out. It's going to be a very sharp, like 90-degree elbow, and then it's going to run straight, and then a 90-degree elbow to vertical, and vertical is going to come out right here, and that's going to be right here. I'm thinking about throwing a coupler right here. That way, if I want to take off the intake for any reason, it's not impossible, and I don't have to take off the bumper to take off the intercooler plumbing. It's just an easy take off this piece, and then I can take out everything else. But I have to be mindful of where my IAT sensor is going to be and where my blow-off valve is going to be. So I need to think about that and route it properly. But that's just really what I've got. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys like this, and it's going to be a cool documentary for sure of everything that I've done. And honestly, I should have done this a very long time ago, because this car was there's so much that I've done to it. It's ridiculous. It's essentially a GTE. I've done all sorts of work on it. It's really cool to see like all the different realms of my mind and my hands and my expertise that have come together on this build. So things like for my engine mount, that's actually completely custom. I designed that in the 3D software on my computer at work, and I fabricated it myself. So that was really neat. I was able to use a computer to design a 3D model, and actually bring this thing to fruition. I've done wiring work, I've done sensor work, I've done body work, I've done fuel line work, all sorts of line work, AN lines, intercooler, hardware, doing software. I'm doing the tuning myself, so everything really coming together. So it's really neat. We've got all sorts of engineering disciplines here. You've got heat management, so you got your heat transfer, things like that. You've got mechanical, obviously mechanical stress, strain, things like that. You've got fluids, and yeah, you've got thermodynamics for sure. So it's cool. It's a cool project. It's a cool project overall, encompassing project. So it's really neat. It's a solid friggin' format to build on. So hopefully we see some cool things out of this car. But yeah, that's all I've got, guys. Thank you.